opening thought. You covered a lot of the things that I would probably not cover very deeply. I'm really excited about the theme for dreams. How many of us remember our dreams? Oh, cool. Yeah. This morning, I was dreaming that I was in my cubicle, and I had both my feet kicked up on my desk, and I was sleeping, and I was watching myself sleep. And then I can see people walking past my cubicle, and then I finally woke up, and I was like, oh, I've been asleep for 2 hours. Now I have to stay 2 hours longer. And then sitting here, I'm like, oh, maybe I was dreaming about dreaming at work because I have to be Table Topics Master about dreams. So, I don't know. But I think this will be a fun table topics, especially since most of you guys remember your dreams. So, as Hua touched on, Sigmund Freud believes he's one of the big dream theorists out there, and he believes that dreams are our subconscious mind working out things or acting on impulses that we might suppress in our conscious minds. What do you think of Freud's theory? Do you think dreams are glimpses into our subconscious minds? Why or why not? Mark.
I think it's a little bit, thank you, Table Topics Master. I think that it's a little bit of both, frankly. I think Freud probably had a point, although Freud was kind of a weirdo. But I think they do allow us some glimpses into our subconscious, whether it be kind of like Walt touched on, like things we maybe want or desire, things that we're stressed out about, or things that we want. I think it because there's so much. What's weird about it to me is when you get into things where they don't make sense. So you're like you're at your house, but it's actually your friend's house, and your friend's there, but they have someone else's face, but you know it's your friend and it's their house. But just odd stuff like that. I think some of that just seems random, and I don't know if it's just your brain compiling stuff throughout the day, and then just stuff gets kind of messy and gets in there, and whatever, keeps crunching away. But I do think there's something to be said for looking at your dreams every once in a while, or kind of reflecting back on them and saying, maybe there's something else going on in my life that I'm not thinking of, but it's in there, and I need to be more conscious and more aware of it.
Excellent answer. I experienced that too, where I'm like, this is my boss, but I obviously dream about work a lot. But I'm like, but this is definitely not my boss, and we're at work, but this is not Northrop Grumman, so it's interesting. All right. Carl Jung says that dreams are not attempts to conceal your true feelings, but are windows to your unconscious. They offer solutions to problems you are facing in life. Have you ever been faced with a problem and dreamt of the solution? If not, is there a problem that you have that you would like to dream the solution to? Doug.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Fellow Toastmasters, dreaming. What an interesting subject. Let me ask everybody a question. How many minds do each of us have?
3.
5.
5? Do you have another answer?
1.
Some people think 2.
3.
Some people believe we have a conscious mind, and some of us have a subconscious or an unconscious mind. We can think 2 ways. We can think consciously, we can do induction. We can look at everybody in the room and say that the average age here is 37, right? That's induction. Not necessarily true, but it's taking. And then there's the other side of the line, deduction. We do mathematics by deduction. 7 times 8 is always the same. We don't think about it. We just go, bang. So each side of our mind has a way of thinking. What do we think when we're asleep? That's the question. Madam Table Topics.
So we're going to get into some of the obscure topics. Carl Jung believes that there are that all things can be paired as opposites. There's good versus evil, love versus hate. He says that we have an ego and a counter-ego called the shadow, which represents aspects of yourself that you do not wish to acknowledge, the unknown darker side. And he believes that your shadow can appear in your dreams. If you saw your alter ego in a dream, what do you think your alter ego would be like? Let's go with Helen.
Thank you, Madam Tabletop Master. It's a very interesting question. There's one dream I've had quite a few times, and it happens especially when I'm stressed out. And I like Hua's speech, how it mentioned how when you're thinking about things or you're stressed, it may be reflected in your dream. And I have had quite a few dreams where I've been chased and I'd be running. But the thing about running is, because after watching Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon movie, I love the woman kung fu movies. Mm-hmm. So in these dreams, I start running and then I can start flying. And I jump from rooftop to rooftop. And I could conquer my enemies that way. So I secretly think my alter ego, I really want to become a martial artist. One of those Chinese ladies. On the outside, I may appear nice and sweet, but the inside, I'm really a killer. And I could really get you if I want to. So I think that's my alter ego.
Oh, wow. Great answer. Let's see here. Okay. In the 2010 film Inception, a team of thieves infiltrate the subconscious of their targets by entering into their dreams. Their way of discerning reality from dreams is a totem, a seemingly ordinary object that has special importance to the owner, and one that has been modified in some way, engraving weight, balance, feel. This is like a multiple part question. What would your totem be? And if you were a dream thief, what would you want to steal? Aaron. Sorry.
My totem, if I were in the movie Inception, and if I was a dream thief, my totem would be my Bible. I have a small pocket Bible that is very, very small, and I can read it, and it only has about 7 books of the Bible in it. And it's one in my most intimate moments that I have and I bring out, and it's highlighted and it's engraved, and it was owned by my grandmother, who, she was born in 1913, and so it's very, very, it's a loom, what is it?
Heirloom?
It's an heirloom for me that allows me to lucidly see in my family history. So if I were a dream thief, I would steal people's courage and present it to them. I would steal people's opportunity, people's potential when they're uninhibited by logic, as you so expressed. And I would show them what their mind is capable of if they get out of their own way, how lucidly their future is if they remove themselves. Thank you, Madam.
Oh, thank you. Next question. Linguists say that you've fully learned a foreign tongue when you start to dream in that language. What do you think of this notion? Have you ever dreamt in a different language? Mary Jane.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics, for that question. I had great responses to the first 4, and you just asked the one person in the room who only speaks one language. Contrary to what many people may think, I can only speak English. I dream in English. I do know that there are people who are bilingual, trilingual, that may, while they're awake, speak in a certain language, yet their dreams are in another one, which is really interesting to me because who makes that decision? Do you know that you have control over it? Is it something you have control over? I don't know. Like I said, I only speak one language. And if I did speak another language, I'm gonna nerd out and say like parcel tongue. But if you guys know what I'm talking about, you know the reference. But a lot of my dreams, it's funny, we had this conversation about when you wake up, is it a lucid dream that you remember? It's very specific, you remember who's in it, or is it like what Mark said, they have different faces, different locations, it's constantly changing. And because it's my dream and I've attempted to try to learn Italian and I bought Rosetta Stone and I got Duolingo, I'm gonna dream in Italian and that's my choice. And it may not make sense when I'm awake, but in my dream, I will be fluent in Italian. Madam Tabletop.
Oh. All right. Last question. Okay, so we all know lucid dreaming is when you realize you were dreaming and can consciously control the path of your dream. If you could have a lucid dream where you control everything that happens, what would you want to happen, Sean?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Lucid dreaming is one of my favorite things to do. In fact, since I was in college, I try my best to force myself to wake up in my dream. What I do is I sleep very lightly, but usually when the day is out, so I can wake up. And I know I'm dreaming because when I run, I feel very floaty. You can't speed up. I used to be a runner, so I know how fast I can go. And when I feel that, my totem would be my shoes, because I can feel it. I feel, man, I can't go any faster. Then I know, all I gotta do is jump high, and then I fly. Every single time. Before, when I was younger, I used to do bad things, like go to people's houses and steal their stuff. But now I fly. I fly to USC, I fly to UCLA, I look over the ocean. I know everything in my head. So that's what I do when I have a lucid dream.
Wow. And I would like to call back our Toastmaster.